Patty, you'd better hurry. You're going to be late for class. I can't find my history book. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. I'd probably never pass the test anyway.
Patty, why don't you try positive thinking?
Okay. I'm positive I can't pass the history test. I'll see you later.
Hi, Patty. Are you going to the Shake Shop after school tonight?
I guess so. Why?
Would you do me a favor? Tell Mr. Anderson I won't be there.
Sure. You mean you'd be late?
No, I'm quitting.
You're quitting your job at the Shake Shop?
Oh, I can't help it. My grandmother's sick and I have to go back to Detroit with my folks this afternoon.
Oh. Who's going to take your place?
Oh, he'll find someone. The kids are all standing in line for that job.
George? How much does he pay you?
$15 a week to work after school and on Saturdays. And all the ice cream I can eat.
All the ice cream you can eat?
You'll take care of it for me, won't you?
George, consider it taken care of.
Meet Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Kathy's only seen the sights the girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair! But they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bouquets, different as night and day. Where Kathy adores a minuet, the ballet russe, and crepe Suzette. Our Patty loves to rock and roll, a hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet, still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Hi, Mr. Anderson.
Hello, Patty. What would you like?
A job.
Oh, I don't need any extra help. I have George.
Not anymore, you don't. His grandmother's sick and he had to go to Detroit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I'll have to get someone else.
That's what I was just telling you.
Oh, I need someone with experience. You've never worked behind a fountain.
Mr. Anderson, I spend more time in this place than I do at home.
I was thinking about a boy.
Think about a girl. Look, I'm a leader, right? Right. I'll lead my flock right in here. This place will be so jammed they won't be able to get in the doors. Why, look, it's Donald Donut. I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Donut. There's a 3-hour wait. Oh, and Clara Cupcake. Oh, you want Patty's table? I'm terribly sorry, Miss Cupcake. You'll have to stand in line like the rest of them. You've been here since noon? I am sorry. Yes, I know. She does make the best sodas and sundaes in town. Oh, I believe you're next, miss. Oh, no, it won't always be like this. We're moving to larger quarters next month. What do you say, Mr. Anderson? Please?
It gets pretty busy in here, Patty. You'll have to take care of the fountain, wait on tables, check the receipts.
Will you give me a chance?
Well, all right. We'll try you out. $15 a week.
And?
And all the ice cream you can eat.
Mr. Anderson, I'll kill myself for you.
Oh, I don't think that would be necessary.
What do you want me to do first?
You'd better check your ice cream.
My ice cream.
Patty, can we have some service, please?
Sure, in a second. Yeah.
I'll have a kitchen sink, chocolate, strawberry, and tutti frutti, all the nuts, no cherry, and plenty of whipped cream.
One kitchen sink, chocolate, strawberry, tutti frutti, hold the nuts, no cherry, and plenty of whipped cream. I'll have a flaming desire with a peach instead of a banana, rocky road and orange ice, and hold the syrup. One flaming desire, peach instead of banana, rocky road and orange ice, and hold the syrup. One kitchen sink, chocolate, strawberry, tutti frutti, hold the nuts, no cherry, and plenty of whipped cream.
I'll have a pink elephant, hold the elephant, an extra dip of banana ice cream, no whipped cream, and plenty of syrup.
One pink elephant, hold the elephant, an extra dip of banana ice cream, no whipped cream, and plenty of syrup. One flaming desire, peach instead of banana, rocky road and orange ice, and hold the syrup. One kitchen sink, chocolate, strawberry, tutti frutti, hold the nuts, no cherry, and plenty of whipped cream. A chocolate soda, please. Chocolate soda, fine. Wonder how long Patty's gonna hold that job. As long as she wants to. It's terribly difficult. I bet she doesn't last a week. Oh, I bet she does. Patty has a wonderful memory.
Yeah, that's right, she does.
Gee, I'm terribly sorry. I forgot one of those orders. What did you want? 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 45, 50. 50. $5 short. 10, 20, 30, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mr. Anderson, the most amusing thing just happened. I was just checking the cash receipts, and I found I was $5 short. Oh, what do you do in a case like that? Fire someone, that's what you do in a case like that.
Did you finish checking out your receipts, Patty?
Yes, Mr. Anderson.
Did it check out all right?
Yes, sir. To the penny. You are, Mr. Anderson. $50 and 50 cents.
Fine. You can run along now, Patty. You must be pretty tired.
Oh, no, not me, sir. I'm strong as a horse. You do want me back, don't you?
Oh, I certainly do. Good night.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Good night.
Hello, Patty.
Hi, Papa.
What happened to you?
I got a job.
You didn't.
I told you you'd be shocked. I'm working every day after school and all day Saturday.
What? I think that's wonderful. Where are you working?
At the shake shop.
How'd all this come about?
I heard about a vacancy. I applied for it. I got it. Bene, vide, vici. I came. I saw. I conquered.
Thanks. How much do you get paid?
$15 a week. And all the blisters I can raise. She gets to eat all the ice cream she wants. Boy, I'd work for nothing. Papa, speaking of working for nothing, could I have a little loan from you?
Well, now that you're part of this country's labor force, I guess you're a pretty good financial risk. How much would you like?
$5. Thanks, Papa. I'll give it back to you on payday. Oh, and, since I'm practically earning my own living now, I won't be needing my allowance anymore. Can I have her allowance?
May I have her allowance?
May I have her allowance?
No.
Well, if I wasn't going to get it anyway, why did I have to get grammatical?
Hello, darling. Well, what do you think of our working girl?
I think it's wonderful.
How are your feet?
Great.
Look at the condition of her feet, and not a complaint out of her.
You know, you picked a pretty tough job, Patty. Do you think you're going to be able to stick it out?
She'll stay there until the ice cream runs out. Sure, I'll stick it out. What do you think I am, some kind of quitter?
No. I think you're some kind of wonderful girl. I'm very proud you're my daughter.
Thanks, Papa. If I had the choice of all the sisters in the world, I'd only want you. Thank you, Ross. Now can I come in tomorrow and have a free soda? N-O.
Hi, Ross.
Hi, Richard.
Is the queen of the ice cream parlor home?
She's home. You know, she refused to give me a free soda. My own sister.
Oh, you can afford to buy one.
It isn't the same thing. There's something about a free soda.
Like, hi, everybody. Oh, good evening, Richard.
Hello, Richard.
You all set for the strike and spare bit? I assume that means you're going bowling.
Bowling.
What's the matter with you?
Nothing. I'm ready. Let's go bowling.
She all right?
Patty's had a very hard day, Richard.
You mean she's knocked out from those few hours she worked in the shake shop?
Are we going bowling or not?
Mm-hmm. Right away.
She's gonna be the life of the party.
Richard, I think it would be better if Patty didn't go. I'm sure she'll feel fine tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Come on, Patty. I'll help you.
You understand, Richard?
No, I sure don't. I mean, Patty and I have gone dancing for 4 hours without stopping. And she was as fresh as a daisy.
Well, that comes under the heading of pleasure. You see, what Patty did today was work. Yeah, I think it was quite a psychological shock to her nervous system.
Boy, I sure was proud of Patty today. You should have seen her. She was racing around taking orders and delivering milk and working behind the fountain. We all went to the rally without her. She stayed on and worked. Boy, she's quite a girl.
Oh, we've decided to keep her.
Not much longer.
What does that mean?
Well, just that sometime in the future, I hope that, All right.
Drink your milk.
Boy, I'd like to get my hands on whoever invented cows.
Morning.
Morning.
Where are the girls?
Kathy's already had her breakfast. Patty's still asleep.
At this hour? Isn't she feeling well?
She's just tired.
She's been carrying trays in her sleep all night.
I have to get accustomed to the idea of Patty's being a working girl.
Don't get too used to it. She won't last that long.
Patty may surprise you.
She's already surprised me. She isn't going to give me a free soda. I bragged to all the kids at school that my sister's working at the shake shop. I'm a laughingstock among the younger generation.
Get over it.
A thing like this could give me a traumatic experience. Whatever that means.
That means you've been watching too many doctor movies on The Late Show.
If I watch just one more, I'll bet I could be a brain surgeon. Scalpel. Suture.
Natalie,
Don't look at me. He knows he's not supposed to watch the show.
then why do you watch them, Ross?
Because they're there.
Well, I don't mind them being there. Just make sure you're not.
Yes, sir. Well, there goes a whole career down the drain.
Patty, get up. Desire, peaches instead of banana. Oh, hold the flame.
Patty.
What time is it?
Let me put it this way. If you walk in the classroom door in about 10 minutes, you'll be just in time for your chemistry class.
10 minutes? Why didn't you wake me up?
We've been trying to since 7 o'clock.
Oh.
Are you sure this job is a good idea? Certainly. Where else can you get paid to go through a physical fitness program? Hi, I'm sorry it took so long.
Come on, 3 more.
Okay. Oh, I got you soda. Yours.
Patty, you were waiting.
Not now, Richard. I'm very busy.
Patty! Patty, we're hungry.
Sorry, I'm doing the best I can. They'll be ready in a second. Excuse me. Yes.
Where are the sodas?
Oh, they're coming. I forgot. I'm sorry. $5, 36, 37 and a quarter. 39 and a quarter. I'm $2 short again. Boy. Well, I'm improving.
Almost through figuring your receipts, Patty?
Yes, Mr. Anderson.
Did it come out right?
To the penny.
Would you like a banana milkshake before you go? You've reached the point of no return.
Point of no return?
That's what I call it when I've had a new clerk long enough so I begin showing a profit again. Tomorrow is Saturday, so I'll expect you to open the store at 8 in the morning.
8 o'clock? Yes, sir.
It's good.
Don't ruin your appetite.
No, I won't. Gee, I wish Patty would get home. I can't wait to spring my little surprise on her.
She'll be so thrilled.
So you don't suppose she's seen the papers yet, do you?
I'm sure she hasn't. Her job keeps her pretty busy.
She really loves it, doesn't she? I'll bet she wishes she'd taken the job a long time ago.
Martin.
It's the last one. I can't help myself.
Patty, you look terrible. I feel like the inside of a milkshake. I can't keep it up any longer.
Then don't.
Don't worry. I won't. Do you know where I'm going to be at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning? Asleep. And I'm going to sleep right through till summer. Boy, no wonder they call them soda jerks. Well, I just handed in my resignation.
Hello, darling.
Hi.
Well, home is the hunter home from the hill and the sailor home from the sea. How's our little working girl?
I want to talk to you about that.
Yeah. I've got something I want to read to you first. This is my editorial in today's Chronicle. In an age when teenagers are too often thought of as a group of juvenile delinquents, perhaps it's time that someone pointed out the other side of the coin. Time some tribute was paid to the hundreds of thousands of decent youngsters who are our junior citizens. Because of a few loud-mouthed, ill-mannered hooligans, we tend to forget that the great majority of teenagers are courteous, respectful young men and women, determinedly training themselves for places as leaders of tomorrow's America. This writer is as guilty as other parents intending to underestimate our children. We have a teenage daughter in our house. We watched her begin a job a few days ago, and we confess with shame that we thought it would be a passing fancy, losing out to more important things in life such as movies, basketball, and television. We were wrong. This is our apology to her and to the rest of young America.
Thank you, Papa. What to say?
You don't have to say anything, honey. Actions speak louder than words.
I think I'll go up and have a little rest. Excuse me. I have to be at the shake shop at 8 o'clock in the morning. Patty, you can't go on like this. I'm hooked. If I quit, I'll let Papo down. I'm sure if you told your father what this job was doing to you, he'd understand. He'd understand I'm a quitter. I don't know how I got mixed up in this.
But I seem to be representing teenage America. You know what he wrote about me? Yes. But it wasn't meant to be your epitaph. How long are you going to keep working? Until I'm old and stupid. I'm already stupid or I wouldn't be in this mess.
Well, I see we have a new conscript.
What's a conscript?
Conscript is someone who's been drafted for a job.
You mean kind of like a slave?
Kind of.
That's me.
Thanks, we're almost through.
Say, did Patty go out
No, I think she went to bed.
this early?
Martin, do you think this job's too much for Patty? I have a feeling she's working too hard.
Oh, I think she's having the time of her life. I worked in a drugstore when I was a kid. I had a ball.
You weren't cheerleader, editor of the school paper, captain of the girls' hockey team, and mascot of the basketball team.
I wasn't captain of the girls' hockey team.
I think Patty's doing too much.
Well, maybe she should give up some of her other activities. I think it would kill her if she had to give up her job at the shake shop.
This will kill me. Do you know how much a tray full of flaming desires weighs? 10,000 pounds. Patty, would you like me to substitute for you tomorrow?
Kathy! That's the greatest thing I've ever heard.
No, I couldn't do that. Why not? Because it would make a phony out of Papo's editorial. I appreciate it, Kath. But I got myself into this one, and I'll have to get myself out of it.
I want to talk to you.
Hi, Richard.
I thought we were supposed to have a date last night.
I've given all that up.
Giving all what up?
Dating, cheerleading, school paper, and you.
You're kidding.
No, I decided to become a drudge.
For how long?
Until I'm too old to work for Mr. Anderson anymore and he throws me out. You'll have to find someone younger to go with, Richard.
Well, why don't you just quit?
I can't. I'm an institution. Mom and Pop came into the shake shop yesterday. They just sat there, watching me. I've seen the looks on their faces. No, I'm afraid it's goodbye, Richard.
Patty, why don't we...
No, Richard, there's no point in discussing it. There's nothing that could...
Richard, will you take me dancing tonight?
Dancing? Well, you just said that...
I've changed my mind. Look who's back.
I'm back.
Oh, George. I love you.
Say, isn't it about time that Patty got home?
Yes, they got an early start. They were going to 2 movies, a newsreel theater, and the bowling alley.
Of course, you know, I'm glad that George's grandmother is feeling better, but it's too bad Patty had to give up her job, isn't it? Was she very disappointed about it, Kath?
Oh, I'm sure she was, Uncle Martin. But she'll get over it.
I won't. There goes my last chance for free ice cream soda.
Well, not necessarily.
Hi, group.
Hi.
Guess who just bowled 240?
I did.
Spoil sport.
Well, Patty, I was just about to spring my big surprise.
You wrote another editorial.
No, it's even better than that. On my way home tonight, I stopped off at the shake shop.
You did?
Yep. I had a little talk with George.
With George?
Mm-hmm. We need a copy boy on the paper, and George is taking the job. Mr. Anderson said that he'll expect you at the shake shop tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Patty Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find
They laugh alike.
they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Hey, I wondered where this picture album was. What's so funny? You. This picture was taken a few days after you came here.
I didn't look like that.
Oh, yes, you did. I look so foreign. I'll never forget how excited we were when we knew you were going to come to live with us. I was pretty excited too, Patty. Being brought up in Europe was fun. But Father was right. It was time I got to know about America. None of us even knew what you looked like. All I knew is that my glamorous cousin who'd lived all over the world was going to come to stay with us. Even Richard was pretty excited. He came over that morning before we went to the airport. He couldn't wait for you to get here.
Has your cousin Kathy arrived yet?
Her plane's due in an hour. We're leaving for the airport now.
That's a big choice, isn't it? Coming all the way from Scotland to live with you. Well, I've made my mind up, Patty.
You have?
I've narrowed it down to you and Sue Ellen. And I've decided to give you my pin.
Oh, Richard. You can see that everything was under control in that department. But in the next room, Papa was having his daily war with J.R.
J.R. may be the publisher of the New York Chronicle, but I'm still the managing editor. Fed up with his changing my editorials. What? I know he only changed one word, but the word was don't. I don't know when I'm coming in. For 2 cents, I'd hop a jet for Tahiti and never come back.
Things are improving. Last time it was Alaska we didn't go to.
Oh, it's J.R. again. He's driving me out of my mind. If I've told him once, I've told him
It'll be late, Dad. Let's hurry. If we're not at the airport to meet Kathy, she might turn around and go back to Europe.
Oh, yeah, we better get going.
I wonder what Kathy will be like. I'm nervous. Isn't that silly?
Oh, of course it's silly. She'll be wonderful. After all, she's my side of the family.
As it turned out, the traffic was terrible, and we missed the plane. When we got to the airport, you'd gone. Naturally, we were worried. But none of us had any idea that in less than an hour, our innocent little visitor was going to destroy the whole Lane family, single-handed.
Meet Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Kathy's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bookends, different as night and day. Where Kathy adores a minuet, the ballet russe, and crepe Suzette. Our Patty loves to rock and roll, a hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet, still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Mr. Castle, I finally reached his house. The housekeeper said Mr. Lane left very early this morning for the airport.
Just exactly what did Mr. Lane say when you talked to him this morning?
He said that for 2 cents he'd get on a jet and never come back. But he was joking.
Ah, I'm not laughing. Nobody is indispensable around here except me, Miss Gordon. Lane can be replaced. He has exactly 1 hour.
Yes, Mr. Castle.
We got jammed up on the expressway, and there's no sign of her here at the airport. There hasn't been any word from her at all?
I haven't seen hardly heard of her.
Well, she has the address. She'll probably head for the house. We'll be right home.
Isn't that Mr. Lane's daughter?
It sure is.
Mr. Castle's office.
Oh, am I glad to see you. Where's your father?
My father's in Glasgow.
He's done it.
Excuse me, but I'm looking for Mr. Martin Lane.
Quit? Martin Lane wouldn't quit this paper. He's indispensable and he knows it. Who said he quit?
His daughter. She's here. He's in Scotland.
Don't be ridiculous, Miss Gordon. What would he be doing in Scotland?
Probably sitting on the bonny banks of Loch Lomond fishing.
Very well. If that's the way he wants it, that's the way he's going to get it. Clean out his desk and send for Albert Marcus. I'll have a word with that young lady. You, janitor. You, janitor. Take that name off the door right now.
Yes, sir.
And as for you, young lady, you can take a message to your father. I hope he enjoys living in Scotland.
Isn't Mr. Lane employed here anymore?
No?
Perhaps that's why he couldn't meet me at the airport. I'll try him at home. Hello. I'm here.
Well, don't just stand there. Go clean your room. It's a mess. Folks will be back in a minute. Look at the mess. I stepped on 3 Paul Anka records just trying to get to the window.
Paul Anka?
She's lost. She might have gone to the police.
Maybe she did. I'll call.
Come on, Ross.
When you're through, I'll call the office. I'll bet they're falling apart down there. JR probably thinks I'm halfway to Tahiti by now. She's here. It's her. It's you.
Hi, Richard. Come on in.
No, thank you. I just came to give you a message from Sue Ellen. She says to tell you she is crazy about my pin.
Sue Ellen.
I thought he was going to pin you, dear.
He'll come back when he gets hungry. Missing persons.
What's cooking? Mrs. McDonald's wigged out. She's flipped. She thinks I clean... Holy moly! It's me! By the stone of Scone. It's I.
Kathy. Oh, Kathy.
Welcome, Kathy.
Oh, you look so much like Father.
Martin, look at her. It's amazing. Why, they look exactly alike.
Gee, I don't know if I can stand 2 of them.
We've been so worried about you.
Couldn't figure out what happened to you. Oh, I've had quite a time of it. First, I couldn't find you at the airport. And then when I arrived here, a strange boy popped his head in and kissed me. Is he yours? Well, he was. He's Sue Ellen's now. I'm so sorry.
Kathy, we're so glad to have you here. Come and sit down, dear. You must be tired. Are you hungry?
We'll make you something to eat.
No, thank you, Uncle Martin.
Tomorrow, I think I'll take you downtown to the office and show you around.
Oh, I'd like that. What work are you in?
Well, I'm managing editor of the New York Daily Chronicle.
I mean, what work are you in now?
I'm the managing editor of the New York Daily Chronicle.
I was up there. They were scraping your name off the door.
Don't be ridiculous. They wouldn't. Hello. What's the name of your managing editor?
Albert Marcus. Would you like to be connected?
Albert Marcus. He couldn't wait to get rid of me.
I'll never forget that day. None of us will. Papa lost his job. I lost Richard. I felt like a jinx. I was ready to turn around and go back home. I'm glad you didn't. Look at all the excitement we would have missed. I know. I guess the first time we realized the possibilities was when we tried that mirror routine. Mirror routine? Oh, yes. That was fun, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. We were pretty good, too. Even had me fooled for a while.
March, you? Okay, now, when I say go, wait a beat, then go. And go.
Sorry. Let's do it again, all right? Ready? Go. You goofed again. Goofed? Goofed? Yeah, messed it up. You know, snafu'd. Don't you speak any slang? I'm afraid not. You know what they say. Next Gary Faustus Omnia. Who says that? It means it isn't necessary to know all things. You speak Latin. The only Latin I know is Paul Anka. What else do you do? Do you like to dance? I like music. Father and I went to the opera quite often. As a matter of fact, the night before I left Edinburgh, we went to see Johnny Skiki. Johnny who? Johnny Skiki. You know. O mio bambino caro, mi piace bello. Hold it. You lost me way back on Bambino. I'll be there today. Give me a week and I'll have you rocking the mashed potato. How is that translated? You don't know what it means to rock the mashed potato? God, it's like running into somebody from another planet. I feel as though I am from another planet. Everything is so different here, Patty. And so big and fast. It's a bit frightening. Do you have any idea what a weapon we have in our hands? What do you mean? Separately, we're two girls who have a few talents. Just like anyone else. You're a brain, I like sports. You like opera, I like to dance. But together, we're really on the beam. On the beam? With it. We can be in two different places at the same time. Do you think we could really fool people, Patty? Let's find out. How? Any objections? Not in the least. I think I will descend below and inquire how Aunt Natalie and dear Uncle Martin are getting along. Am I interrupting, Aunt Natalie? Am I interrupting, Aunt Natalie?
Of course not, Kathy. We were just saying how wonderful your being here is going to be for Patty.
As a matter of fact, she could use a steadying influence.
Patty isn't as mature as you, dear.
She's a bit flighty.
She's a three-wheeled monster.
Perhaps my being here is going to be an imposition on everyone.
An imposition? We've always wanted another daughter.
You have?
Yes, and now that we have you, our family's complete.
Just don't let Patty rope you into any of her kooky schemes.
Is your room comfortable?
Yes, very.
Because if it isn't, why, we'll get Patty to change with you.
Oh, no, I wouldn't think of it.
Well, remember, this is your home now. Sometimes Patty can be a little selfish.
A little selfish.
So if there's anything of hers that you want, you just let us know.
Actually, I just came down to tell you how wonderful everything is. Excuse me.
I have a feeling they're going to get along just fine.
What happened? Did it work? It worked. Now, if you'll kindly keep your mature self out of my selfish way, I'd like to be alone. Patty? Patty, did I do something to hurt you? Hi, folks, what's cooking? Hi, folks, what's cooking?
Must you use that slang, darling? I wish you'd try to talk a little bit more like Kathy. How are you two getting along?
Swell. She was just down here.
Oh, yeah, we had a nice talk. I think it made an impression.
What'd you talk about?
You mostly.
We want to do everything to make her feel at home here, Patty. We told her she's as much our daughter as you, that she can have anything she wants in this house.
Including your room. You didn't.
Yes, we did. We want you to be very unselfish. Your clothes should fit her nicely.
Yeah. Ross, can I talk to you a second? Sure. Ross, can you stand a shock? Sure, Kathy. You knew. Certainly. Boy, you should have heard me needle Patty. Fella doesn't get a chance like that too often. Well, she hates me. I have to prove to her that I'm on her side. I'd like to help you, but that's one place I've never been. Don't know what to do. Yes, I do. Will you get Richard for me? Sure. Oh, Ross, I think I'm on the beam. Hi, Richard.
I can only stay a second.
Before you split, there's something I want to say to you.
Sue Ellen's very jealous. What is it?
This.
I'll get my pin back from Sue Ellen. Why did you clobber me?
I'll show you. Yell, Patty.
What?
Yell, Patty.
Patty?
Louder.
Patty!
Richard.
Holy cow, I've got to hear him.
What are you doing here?
Well, you called me. Well, she called me. Who called me?
I did. He's going to get his pin back from Sue Ellen. Oh, Kathy.
You're Kathy?
Catherine Margaret Rowan Lane of Glasgow.
Boy, are we gonna have fun.
Who's we?
How am I gonna know who's who?
You'll know.
Do you realize this is the first leisurely breakfast I've had in 15 years? If I were still a slave to that paper, I'd probably be giving myself ulcers over the morning edition. Boy, it's really great not to have to go down to the office. Oh, it is. You know what I'm going to do? I think I'll... Well, maybe I'll...
Have another leisurely breakfast.
Aren't you late for school?
I'm going.
What are you girls going to do today?
We're gonna dress in identical clothes, fix our hair alike, and go around the neighborhood and put everyone in shock.
I think, maybe I'll just wander out and have a look at the morning paper.
I have a feeling this is going to be the shortest retirement on record.
No, it's flat. Flat.
It's flat. There's no flavor. There's something missing.
Martin Lane.
That traitor.
He's the best managing editor in the country.
Who said so?
You did.
And what's he doing with his talent? Fishing his life away in Scotland. Cable our correspondent in Glasgow right away. Tell him I want Martin Lane tracked down right now.
Yes, Mr. Castle.
That's game.
Set him up again.
Oh, Dad, do we have to play another game?
Yes.
Mom.
Martin, dear, why don't you call J.R.?
No, sir, I'm having too much fun around here.
Are we gonna spend the rest of our lives playing checkers?
Maybe.
It was all a misunderstanding. J.R. thought you walked out on him and his feelings were hurt. Wouldn't do any harm just to call and say hello.
Well, I suppose I might do that. Would you excuse me, son?
Sure.
Sure.
Hi, Mom.
I'll bet you did put the neighborhood in shock, Patty.
How do you know I'm Patty?
Now, cut that out. We've had enough confusion around here.
Don't worry, Dad. I can tell them apart. Can't I, Kathy? He has amazing perception for a child. Boy, when I grow 6 more inches, am I gonna get you?
J.R. Castle, please. Martin Lane.
Just a minute, Mr. Lane.
Yes.
We've got Martin Lane.
Hold him on the line. We've got Martin Lane in Scotland.
Hello, Martin. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Sorry to disturb you in the middle of the night this way. How are things over there?
Like, they couldn't be better. How's everything over there?
They're fine over here, too. Just fine. How long a vacation are you planning to take?
Vacation? Now, just a minute. What about Albert Marcus?
Well, we'll discuss that when you return from Scotland. How soon can you get back?
He thinks I'm in Scotland. Well, I don't know, J.R. Beautiful country over here. The heather is in season, and
All right, Martin, you can write anything you want, only just come back.
That's a deal. I'll be back in time to put out tomorrow's Bulldog edition.
Fine, Martin, fine. Have a good trip.
Goodbye, J.R.
Terrible overseas connection. He had to yell all the time.
Did you hear that? He's going to quit messing with my editorials.
Yeah, no more checkers.
And it's all because of you, Kathy. You're the most exciting thing that's ever happened to this family.
I only told you. So, everything turned out all right after all. Papa got his job back, I got Richard back, and you joined the family. For a while there, I didn't think I was going to make it. Do you know what I love about you, cousin? Yes, Tom Sawyer. While you've been talking, I've been cleaning the room.
You staying in this evening, Patty?
Yeah, Mom. I'm gonna curl up with a good book. Mom, do you think Kathy's personality has changed since I took her over?
What do you mean since you took her over?
Well, since she's been living here.
I think you've both probably changed a little.
Remember how shy she used to be? She could never get a date. But I taught her.
She's a lovely girl.
Yeah. Do you know what she did for me all morning? Helped me with my homework. Do you know what she did for me all afternoon? Cleaned up our room. And do you know what she's doing for me all evening? Seeing a movie with my boyfriend, Richard. Good night.
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike,
They walk alike,
at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are.
Going to do all that, Dad?
Is it going to do all what?
It's going to circle this room twice, fly into the dining room, fly back in here, and land.
Are you sure, Uncle Martin?
Oh, sure. Operates by remote control.
It won't hit the lamps, will it, Martin?
Will you relax? I'm the oldest pilot on the line. Okay, now. Here we go.
It's not flying.
They sure don't build them like they used to.
It's probably defective equipment.
Probably.
Kathy, where's Patty?
She's getting ready for a date, Aunt Natalie.
Say, who put this picture of Richard in the living room?
Patty thought it would look nice here.
She was wrong. Tell Patty she can just put it back in her room.
Tell Patty she can just put what back in her room?
This picture of Richard. What are you all dressed up about?
Big date. You know, I did him an injustice. I didn't really appreciate him. But you know something? He's handsome, warm, brilliant, and punctual. I'm really a very lucky girl. I'll go let him in.
Richard is handsome, warm, and brilliant?
To each his own.
Well, I know, but that's ridiculous. I've never seen Patty so worked up about a date with Richard before. She usually takes him for granted.
Yes, she acts as though this is a special occasion.
I think it is. Mom, Papa, I'd like you to meet my date. Colonel Jeffrey Davis III.
Meet Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bookends, different as night and day.
Where Kathy adores a minuet, the ballet russe, and crepe Suzette.
Our Patty loves to rock and roll, a hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet, still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Jeff is a cousin of Harriet's. You remember my girlfriend who moved to Indiana Harbor? Well, she wrote me that Jeff was coming to New York. And I tried to get him a date, but Kath was tied up and all the other girls were busy. So I guess he's stuck with me.
I was lucky.
Oh, I'll get it.
You're a newspaper editor, aren't you, Mr. Lane?
Yes.
And a great one, if you don't mind my saying so, sir. I'm editor of my school newspaper, and we use the Chronicle as a model of journalism.
Do you really?
Yes, sir.
Do you know anything about airplanes, Colonel?
It's a Beechcraft Musketeer.
It's a good model. It just won't fly. Dad couldn't get it airborne.
Did you turn the propeller, sir?
Well, what do you know?
I just came over to help you out.
Help me out of what?
Well, you said you were stuck with this cousin of a friend of yours from out of town.
Yeah, well, you know how these things are. It's a drag.
I know, that's why I came over. I thought if I went along, it'd make it a little easier.
Yeah, that's very nice of you, Richard, but it's my drag, and I sure wouldn't want to impose on you.
Well, listen, if a fella can't do a favor for his gal, who can he do one for?
You're absolutely right. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Well, aren't you going to invite me in?
Well, I would, Richard, but you know how nervous these small-town boys get in front of strangers.
Boy, you're really stuck, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I can handle it. Why don't you just
Well,
run
listen,
along
I'll
now?
just go in and say hello and put him at ease.
Rich! Look who's here, everybody. It's Richard Harrison.
Uh-oh. Hello, Richard.
Richard?
Hi, folks.
Richard, I'd like you to meet Colonel Jeffrey Davis. This is Richard Harrison, a friend of mine.
It's a pleasure, Mr. Harrison.
Colonel?
Please call me Jeff.
Won't you sit down, Richard?
Thanks, I will.
Harriet gave me a list of places for you to show me.
Oh, sure. I wouldn't want to let good old Harriet down.
How long are you going to be in New York?
Well, I'm not sure. I'd like to stay here as long as possible.
It's very hot in New York during the summer.
Do you go to the same school as Patty?
That's right. I'm captain of the football team.
Oh, I'm afraid I never made captain. I play end.
Well, I guess that's better than nothing.
Yes, I was lucky. It's the first time anyone from our academy was chosen to play all-conference.
You're all conference?
Wow, can I have your autograph?
Oh, I don't think sports are really that important. I'm much more excited about the Oxford scholarship I just received.
You received an Oxford scholarship?
Yes, sir. That's one of the reasons I'm in New York.
That's great, Jeff.
Yeah, that's great.
The Oxford committee insisted upon seeing me in person.
Why, weren't they sure about you?
I suppose not. You see, I'm the first student they ever had with an A-plus average.
Yeah, that's remarkable.
I guess we better get going, Jeff.
Sir, what time would you like Patty home?
What time would we like Patty home?
Well, why don't you give yourselves time for a soda after the theater?
Yes, ma'am. I'll deliver her to her doorstep at 11:37.
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Good night, folks.
Thank you so much for the hospitality, Mrs. Lane.
Not at all. You must come to dinner sometime.
I'd be honored.
What about Thursday?
Well, thank you, ma'am.
They have spaghetti on Thursday.
Would you like to come to dinner, Richard?
No, thanks. I'll be very busy that night.
Good night. Oh.
Good night.
Well, he's quite a boy.
Take away the uniform and what have you got?
Just an all-conference end who's won an Oxford scholarship.
Good night, Ross.
Me and my big mouth. Good night, everybody.
Don't forget to brush your teeth.
I brushed them yesterday.
Ross?
All right, but I'm gonna wear them out before I grow up.
Don't you think you should have gone with Patty and Jeff?
Of course not. You don't know much about strategy, do you, Kathy?
Strategy?
Sure. I figure a little bit of Colonel Davis goes a long way. By 11:37, Patty's gonna be sick of the sight of him.
Jeffrey Davis III is absolute heaven. His family owns a 1,000-acre estate in West Virginia. We're all invited down for the month of August. They have horses there. One of them just won the Kentucky Derby. Jeff used to race in the steeplechase before he got interested in chess. He's the national junior champion. He's so brilliant, I can't understand what he's saying half the time. Are you going to see him again? Let's see, what's tomorrow? Can't you take him off my hands for a few days? Jeff? Richard. Oh. Did you see the way he shambled in here?
Hi, folks. I'm captain of the football team.
What are we having for dinner?
Oh, boy.
Apples.
They serve spaghetti on Thursday. You going bowling? Shakespeare. What's that?
You know you adore Richard. Of course I do. Jeff's a whole new way of life. I wonder if it would help Richard to go to a military academy. I don't know. I have to make up my mind which one I'm going to the big dance with a week from Saturday. Have they both asked you? They will. Kath, would you mind, going with the one that the word you're fumbling for is ditch. I already have a date for the dance with George. Oh, well, then I guess one of them is out of luck. Poor devil.
Hi, Patty.
Hi, Rich. Oh, thank you.
What time did you get home last night?
11:37.
Oh? How'd it go?
Okay.
Well, I guess these duty things can be a pain in the neck.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I got a surprise for you.
What's that?
I've got 2 tickets to the Jerry Mulligan concert tonight.
Gee, Richard, I'm sorry. I won't be able to go with you.
Well, why not?
I promised Jeff I'd go out with him tonight. You know, for Harriet's sake.
Sure, well, where do you have to go with him?
To the Jerry Mulligan concert.
Like Hyde.
Oh, good evening, Richard. Patty's out.
I know. That's not why I came.
We've already had dinner.
That isn't why I came either.
Well, is there something I can do for you?
Oh, no, I just thought it'd be nice if we got to know one another better.
Oh, I see. Well, sit down, Richard.
Oh, thanks.
Patty has been seeing quite a lot of Jeff lately, hasn't she?
That's why I came. I don't mind if Patty goes out with another guy now and then, but the Colonel, I don't know how you compete with him. He's superhuman.
Well, no one is superhuman.
Jeff is. He can do anything better than I can, and I'm good.
Well, Patty seems very impressed with him.
I'll say, I have a stamp collection, Jeff has a bigger one. I have a souped-up car, Jeff has 2. He dances the Watusi, and I'm still learning how to do the twist. He beat me at Indian wrestling, ping pong. If he was a girl, I'd marry him myself.
Well, what can I do, Richard?
Well, I thought maybe you could give me some advice or something. I mean, you're a man of the world. How do you compete with Superman?
Well, every new boy seems glamorous and more exciting, Richard.
Yeah, well, thanks a lot, Mr. Lane.
Richard. You know, there was a Jeff in my life.
There was?
Yeah. When I was dating Mrs. Lane. He was a pilot, and he could do everything, too. Mrs. Lane was quite taken with him.
Well, what did you do? I mean, how'd you give him the deep 6?
Oh. Well, I just used a little strategy. See, I knew Mrs. Lane liked me, but we were in a kind of a rut. We'd always do the same things. Go to movies, bowling, football games.
Like Patty and me.
Exactly. So I started planning things that would intrigue her. See, every young girl likes to do things that are different once in a while. Now, there's a little lake about an hour and a half outside the city called Half Moon Lake.
Hi, mind if I join you?
Be my guest.
If you're not going to do anything tonight, I thought maybe you'd like to...
Gee, Rich, I'm afraid
I thought it'd be fun to go on a picnic to Half Moon Lake.
Picnic on Half Moon Lake? That sounds great. I've never done anything like that before.
You mean you'll come?
Sure. I thought you were going to suggest bowling or another movie.
What do you mean? You think I don't have any imagination? Yes, sir. Things are going to be a lot different around here from now on. Sam, my good fellow. Triple angel flips for my friends.
Sport.
Did Patty say what time she'd be home?
No. She and Richard went bird watching in Central Park.
Bird watching?
Yes. I don't know what's come over Richard. He's just full of plans that Patty loves. Reminds me of the days when I was going steady with Patty's father. He used to do things like that. I guess Patty's a lot like me.
Is she? Well, Mrs. Lane, what was it about Mr. Lane that appealed to you most?
Oh, I don't know. His helplessness, I suppose.
His helplessness?
Yes, women really have a very strong maternal feeling. I think I really fell in love with him the day he had a hole in his sweater and I decided to knit him a new one.
You know, Patty, this is the first sweater that anyone's ever knitted for me.
Oh. When you told me how cold it gets up at Oxford. Well, I couldn't very well let their star pupil freeze to death. Well, I guess I better call Richard and tell him I'll be late.
You sure he won't mind?
Of course not. Anyway, I'll be through with this in no time.
Of course, it's my feet that really get cold.
That's easy. I'll just knit you a pair of socks. What color do you like?
Oh, blue, green, gray, tan.
Richard, you're up against a pretty smart boy.
He's smarter than I am.
But you have a secret weapon.
I have?
Me.
You?
The other morning at breakfast, Patty was saying that one of the things she likes most in the world and hasn't done in years is riding a bicycle.
Gee, that was fun, Rich. I haven't been bicycle riding in years. Whatever made you think of it?
Well, I just put myself in your place and asked myself what you'd enjoy.
It's funny. I was just talking about it at breakfast the other day.
No kidding.
Yeah. I guess you really know me.
Yeah, I guess I do. Can we have a date tonight?
I'd love to, Rich. But Jeff asked me, and I half promised him
Have you ever been to an old-fashioned quilting bee?
When will you pick me up?
7:59.
I'll be ready. Bye.
Bye. Where am I going to find a quilting bee?
You know, Mrs. Lane, I was very interested in that conversation we had the other day.
Which conversation?
Well, the one about you and Mr. Lane and how you married him because he was so helpless.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Well, sure. Don't you remember? The maternal instinct?
Oh, I'm afraid you misunderstood me. Oh, women do have a strong maternal instinct, but they also want a man who's strong and who will dominate them.
I'll let you know when I make up my mind. Look who's here. Hi, Jeff. I was just...
On your feet. We are going out.
But I was...
Let's go. Bye, girls.
Wow, did you hear that? Talk about cavemen.
But he's not like that. Something's going on.
Too bad we don't have a daughter. She could be doing this.
Oh, I told Patty she didn't have to help tonight. She's getting dressed to go out.
Again? Who's the lucky boy? Richard, I suppose.
No, Jeff.
Jeff? Well, Richard took her bicycle riding, and she thought it was wonderful.
Oh, but then Jeff swept her off her feet, and I think it impressed her.
Well, that doesn't mean anything. Richard has taken her picnicking and bird watching and...
Jeff needs her more. She knitted him a sweater and half a sock.
Natalie, you haven't been advising Jeff how to handle Patty, have you?
Why, no. He was just interested in the way
In the way you handled me.
Yes. Have you been advising Richard?
Yeah.
Oh, Martin.
You realize what's been happening. You've been telling Jeff how to handle Patty, and I've been telling Richard.
We've been competing with one another.
Oh, boy.
What made you decide to help Richard?
Oh, I don't know. I lost my head. No, actually, I like Richard, and besides, Jeff is just a little too perfect.
I know. That's why he doesn't have a chance with Patty. We women like him, perfect men.
Oh, I wondered how I got you.
How do you like your daughter?
We like her.
In early tonight.
You know Jeff, old delivered to the door at 9:38. No, he's become very domineering lately. I like it.
What about Richard?
Oh, he's great. He's always thinking up new things to do. Have you ever heard of a corn husking contest in New York? Well, bye.
A corn husking contest? You know, darling, I think your contender's in trouble.
No, Patty is not here. Goodbye. Hello? No, Patty is not here. Yes, I'll give her a message. She'll be back very soon. Goodbye. Jeff. Every time I talk to him, I feel like saluting.
Hi, folks. What's up?
AT&T. There've been several thousand calls for you in the last few hours. I feel like an answering service.
Who called?
Jeff 3 times, Richard 4 times, some boy named Scotty 3 times, a girl named Ann, Otto 8 times.
Wonder what Ann wanted.
Probably your own number.
Jeff and Richard want to speak to you very urgently.
Poor dears. I guess it's about the big dance. I really shouldn't keep them in suspense any longer.
Well, we shall await the outcome anxiously.
Good night, girls.
Good night, Mom. Papa. Patty? Hi, Kath. I just ran into Maggie. She was telling me about her date for the dance. Oh, so she finally hooked somebody, huh? That's great. Who's she going with? Colonel Jeffrey Davis III. What? There's some mistake. It must be some other Colonel Jeffrey Davis III. There's a mistake. But I'm afraid you made it, Patty. He was so sure from the way you talked that you were going with Richard that he asked Maggie. If there's anything I can't stand, it's a fickle man. All right? I'll go with Richard. I'm afraid you won't. Who says so? Richard. He's taking Sue Ellen. Sue Ellen is going with my Richard? Now, don't blame Richard. He was so sure from the way you spoke that you were going with Jeffrey that he asked Sue Ellen. Oh, boy. I'm sorry, Patty. You know what just happened to me? In 60 seconds, I went from femme fatale to just plain old fatal. Gee, you look great, Kath. Thank you. Are you sure you won't change your mind, Patty, and come to the dance? George's cousin would be happy to take you. No, thanks. I don't want charity. Besides, I have a date, and we're not going to any pokey old dance. Do you really have a date? Cross my heart. Is it someone new? I've never been out with him before. All right, then. Have fun. You too. Bye.
I'm sorry you had to miss the dance, darling.
Oh, well. Can't win them all.
Patty, do you remember that Aesop fable about the fox and the chicken?
Sure, Papa. This fox had a chicken in his mouth, and he was passing over a river. and he saw his reflection in it. And he thought it was a bigger chicken, so he dropped the one he had. And he lost them both. Moral. Be happy with the chicken you've got.
I'm ready.
Okay, let's go then.
What's playing?
Well, what do you care? How many times do you get treated to a movie by a femme fatale?
Don't wait up for us.
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair. But they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike,
They walk alike,
at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins part.
Papa, you know how you always wanted me to be a culture vulture?
I don't recall using that phrase.
Well, you know how you hate rock and roll music, and you always wanted me to be interested in classical music?
Yes?
Well, I am.
Wait a minute. You mean this morning you went to school liking rock and roll, and this evening you came home liking the classics? You must have left out the middle part.
That's the surprise. I tried out for the school orchestra and I made it. They're going to give me an instrument and free lessons. I'll be playing all the classics.
That's wonderful.
I had no idea you were interested in music, Patty.
She isn't. I've heard her sing.
I can't tell you how delighted I am. You know, you're really a chip off the old block. You know, I worked my way through college playing the piano. Boy, that's wonderful. We can have our own little musicales around here. Kathy can play the violin, I'll play the piano, and what's your instrument?
I brought it home. I'll go get it. Patty didn't mention a thing to me about this. I guess she wanted to surprise me.
Well, I'm more than surprised. I'm thrilled. There's going to be a whole new atmosphere around here.
Here it is.
Meet Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair. But they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bookends, different as night and day.
Where Kathy adores a minuet, the ballet russe, and crepe Suzette.
Our Patty loves to rock and roll, a hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet, still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you find they laugh alike,
They walk alike,
at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Excuse me. She certainly is practicing a lot, isn't she?
She hasn't stopped since early this morning.
That's wonderful.
My ears hurt.
I'm not a musician, Martin, but isn't she playing a lot of wrong notes?
What makes you think that, Aunt Natalie?
Well, now, she's playing a few, but that's what practicing is for.
So you can learn wrong notes?
Well, it wouldn't hurt you to study an instrument. Excuse me.
Can I get you something, Martin?
No, I'll be right back. Good morning, Richard.
Not anymore, Esmond.
What happened?
Everything.
Patty had a quarrel.
It wasn't even a quarrel.
She interested in some other guy?
With some other guy, I can handle it. I lost her to a tuba.
I don't understand.
Patty suddenly got this thing for long-haired music. Since she joined the school orchestra, she's got that silly tuba wrapped around her all the time.
Sorry, Richard. I'm afraid I'm on Patty's side. I'm delighted that she's taken up a musical instrument.
You want your only daughter to be a tuba player?
I hardly think it's going to be her life's work. Well, look at it this way, Richard. You've lost her to Mozart. It's bigger than both of you.
Martin? Gee, I thought maybe you'd be on my side, Mr. Lane.
Sorry, Richard.
Tell her I'll send for my rock and roll records.
Patty! Do you think you could stop that for a little while? I've been trying to write a letter. You mean music bothers you? No, music doesn't, but... Patty, you haven't stopped playing that thing all week. Well, how am I going to learn if I don't practice? Could you go somewhere else and practice? Where? How about Chicago? I thought you liked music. Listen to this. Beautiful, isn't it? Handel. Oh, I'd recognize it any place. Thank you. You know, Kath, Papa was sure right. I always thought long hair music was a drag. But boy, it really lifts you. You mean playing that lifts you? Not so much what I'm doing now. It's what I'm going to do. I've decided to give concerts on the tuba. Oh, that will be a novelty. I'll be the only woman tuba player in the world. We'll play everywhere. London, Paris, the Bronx. Posters will simply say, Patty Lane and her tuba. The theaters will be sold out as soon as we're announced. Of course, it will be a lonely life. But it's all worth it. One day, you're walking down the street in a strange city, and people recognize you. You hear them say, there goes Patty Lane and her tuba. And they say, Miss Lane, my mother took me to hear you play when I was a little girl. Changed the whole course of my life. Think of all the happiness I've brought to people. Oh, I can't. I get all choked up. Me too. It's like Eddie says. Who is Eddie? Oh, he's the one who got me interested in this. I see. He's going to form an all-girl band. He plays everything. Clarinet, sax, oboe. I believe that's pronounced oboe. Oboe, oboe. He plays it. What does Eddie look like? Like Leonard Bernstein, only with more talent. And it was Eddie who suggested you take up the tuba? Yeah. I guess there aren't too many girl tuba players around. Well, back to culture.
What's that?
It's Patty practicing.
After midnight.
She doesn't even stop to eat. I think they feed her through that horn. Martin, you've got to stop her.
Natalie, we both love music and we want the children to appreciate it, right?
Right. And I don't care what anybody says, that's not music.
It's a beginning.
Couldn't you begin a little softer?
Tuba's a tuba. Just comes out loud.
All right. If you can stand it, I suppose I can stand it.
Well, the important thing is not to discourage her. Don't you remember at the beginning how we were afraid that she might not stick with it?
Yeah, those were the days.
But she has stuck with it, and that's wonderful. If we discourage her at this point, she could easily lose interest in it.
Promises, promises.
Just give it a chance.
All right. Remind me to buy some earmuffs tomorrow. Is anything wrong, Martin?
Oh, no.
Can't you sleep?
Oh, sure. I was just enjoying the music.
I got you a pair of earmuffs. They're in the drawer.
Oh? I don't need them.
As you wish. Good night.
Natalie!
Yes, dear?
That coffee's from the bottom of the pot. Well, you know I can't stand coffee from the bottom of the pot.
I'm sorry, Martin. I'll get you some coffee from the top of the pot.
All right. Never mind. I'm sorry. It's just I have this terrible headache. I'm not myself.
I'll say. Boy, I'll be glad when you get back.
Is there anything I can do, Uncle Martin?
No, thanks, Kath. There's nothing anyone can do. Listen, let's go out. I'll take you to the movies.
Darling, we've been to the movies every night this week. There's a concert at the Lincoln Center. Why
No music, please.
All right, then let's go to the movies. If there's anything in town left to see.
I wish she would get that passage right. It doesn't go that way. I mean, if Beethoven had wanted it played that way, he would have written it that way, right? That does it. The rest of you wait here. I don't want to embarrass Patty.
Of course.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. I'd like to talk to you, Patty.
Oh, sure. Go ahead, Papa.
Can't you put that thing down for a minute?
Oh, sure. You know, I'm so used to it, I forget I'm even wearing it. Thank you.
Let's sit over here.
Sure.
It's about the tuba, isn't it?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it is, honey.
I knew it.
You didn't think I could stick it out this long, did you?
No, as a matter of fact, I didn't.
Oh, you were right, Papa. These great composers make everybody else sound like nothing.
Yeah. Well, Patty, The thing that you have to realize is that some people are naturally talented as musicians and others aren't.
That's exactly what Eddie says. I'm a naturally talented musician. Oh, I love culture. I'm going to dedicate my whole life to it. A lot of people laugh at the idea of a girl playing the tuba. But do you remember what you always told me? It doesn't matter what you do, as long as you do it as well as you know how.
Did I say that?
I've never forgotten. You know, Papa, I think I've been letting you down a little bit.
How?
I haven't been practicing enough. Don't you worry. From now on, this tuba will never be out of my hand. I'm sure glad we had this little talk. Thanks for encouraging me. You know, I guess there are a lot of fathers who wouldn't take the trouble.
Well, if you can't encourage your own daughter, who can you encourage?
You're wonderful, Papa.
I hear Eddie's going to announce who he's picked for his all-girl band.
Yeah, we should be hearing any day now.
Why don't you try out for it, Kathy? I heard you play the piano, and you're great.
Thank you, Molly, but I'm afraid I haven't time. I'm involved in too many other projects.
Well, we'll miss you.
You sound as if you've been picked already.
Well, let's face it, there aren't too many girl tuba players around.
Kathy? Maggie? Molly? Patty, I didn't recognize you without that horn wrapped around your neck.
Well, if it isn't the king of rock and roll.
Patty, can I talk to you for a minute?
Well, we haven't got much in common, but go ahead.
You see, there's this jazz concert at Carnegie Hall tonight, and I thought maybe we...
Jazz concert. Poor child.
Well, you used to love them. And when I say used to, I'm talking about last week.
I've developed a lot since then, Richard. I've acquired a taste for the finer things in life.
Here's your triple sweetheart flip.
Oh, thank you.
Well, you've changed overnight.
That's the way it happens sometimes, Richard. Like a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis. Exactly.
What am I? A housefly?
Whatever you are, Richard, I'll always enjoy having known you.
Boy, when she gets off on one of these things, you can't even communicate with her.
I'll send you a couple of free tickets to my first concert. Bring you up.
I will. And my grandchildren.
Peasant!
Hurry up, Natalie. She's going to start again any minute.
Won't you take me with you? Please?
I'm really sorry, son, but you have school tomorrow.
Are you going out?
Yes. Are you going out?
Yes. I thought you said you were going out.
We changed our minds.
Yeah. Where are you going, Patty?
Eddie's taking me to a concert.
Eddie?
Yeah, he's her Svengali.
Eddie just so happens to be the greatest musical genius of our time. His father's a conductor.
Are you allowed to talk to him while the train is in motion?
How long have you known Eddie?
2 weeks. Oh, but it seems like I've known him all my life. He's taking me to hear Shostakovich tonight.
Honey, I think that's pronounced Shostakovich.
We'd like to meet Eddie.
Oh, you're going to? He's coming by to pick me up in a few minutes.
You know, we haven't seen Richard around here lately.
Oh, tin ear.
He wouldn't even know who Shostakovich is.
That's Shostakovich.
You know, I'm really very disappointed in Richard. He just hasn't developed intellectual-wise. That's Eddie. Hasn't he got a musical ring? Mom, could you fix your hair a little bit? And Papa, straighten your tie, And you... Oh.
We could wait in the garage if you'd rather.
No. Well, you're all right. I just want you to make a good impression on Eddie. He's so sensitive. I'll go let him in.
I think you could call me a fair and reasonable man.
Of course you are.
Well, I haven't met this Eddie yet, but I hate him.
I can't stand it.
Eddie, I'd like you to meet my parents. This is Eddie Blake.
Hello, Eddie.
It's nice to meet you.
As my father, Carl Blake, the famous orchestra conductor, always says, pure tone is no accident.
Does he really?
Patty tells us you're quite a musician.
Yes, I'm very good, actually. I not only play 21 instruments, I also compose. I think we'd better be going. We're hearing Shostakovich, you know.
That's Shostakovich. And since you're a musician, it might not be a bad idea if you learned how to pronounce it.
Oh, you mean Dmitri Shostakovich.
That's exactly who I mean.
He's hopelessly old-fashioned. No, Patty and I are going to hear Igor Shostakovich. Really avant-garde composer. Good night.
Addio.
What do we do now?
We get rid of that name-dropping prodigy and bring back old Tin Ear. Igor Shostakovich. Well, Richard, Mrs. Lane, and I certainly appreciate your coming over here.
Yes. Richard, would you like an apple?
Oh, no, thanks. What did you want to see me about, Mr. Lane?
Well, we thought it would be nice if you and Patty started dating again.
Oh, I don't think Rohanna Pollock would like it.
Who is Rohanna Pollock?
She's a girl who happens to play the tuba 10 times as good as Patty. And she doesn't think I have a tin ear. And boy, is she crazy about me.
She doesn't sound like your type. Richard, you and Patty should be going swimming and bowling and to the movies. All those things you used to do.
Patty's not interested in those things anymore. They're not cultured enough for her. All she talks about is Stasha Volchik.
That's just...
Patty gets off on these wild kicks, and boy, until she gets back to Earth, it's murder.
You're going to help her get back to Earth again.
I am?
Right. You can begin by taking her to a concert. Now then, maybe afterwards you could go on to supper. And then a couple of nights later, you could go to the theater. And pretty soon, you'll be back to movies and rock and roll and bowling.
Oh, well, you see,
Now, Richard, I understand that this is going to cost a little money, and we would like to help you. I think maybe that should do the trick.
Is that what you wanted to talk to me about? I've got my pride, and I can't be bribed. You can tell Patty it didn't work. I'm still going to take out Rohanna Pollock. Patty had her chance, and she lost it. Good night.
Didn't work.
I know, I heard.
Cass, do you have any ideas at all?
You could just forbid Patty to go on with the tuba.
No, I can't. You see, I encouraged her to take up an instrument, and I've always preached to her how important it is to practice.
There is a way.
What is it?
No, I couldn't do it.
Would it work?
Yes, but it's too mean.
Kathy, this is an emergency.
Uncle Martin, do you think Patty has any talent as a musician? I mean, does she have an ear for music?
Absolutely none.
All right, then. I'll do it.
Will it get that tuba out of this house?
Yes. But if Patty finds out what I've done, it will probably get me out of the house, too.
She's here.
That ungrateful monster. I worked my lips to the bones. I'll never trust another musician.
What happened, darling?
I'll tell you what happened. Eddie told me he was going to hire me as his tuba player in his all-girl band. Well, today I found out he hired somebody else.
Who?
Oh, some girl named Rohanna Pollock. I don't even know how she found out he was forming an all-girl band.
Well, maybe it's all for the best, darling.
I'll say.
Tomorrow I take this thing back to school and I never want to see it again.
Patty, you're not too heartbroken about giving up the tuba, are you?
I guess not. I don't mind dedicating my life. but not to anything that looks like that. Gotta go now.
Where are you going, Patty?
Bowling with Richard.
With Richard? Oh, is that on again?
Yeah. It seems he was going with this Rohanna Pollock, and now she's so busy rehearsing he never gets to see her. Bye.
Boy, talk about killing two birds with one stone.
It worked.
Certainly did.
I can't tell you how grateful we are, Kathy.
You know, actually, Patty's idea about being in the school orchestra wasn't a bad one. As a matter of fact, I tried out for it myself today.
Oh, boy.
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair. But they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike,
They walk alike,
at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two.
May I speak with you a moment? George. Kathy? What's the matter with good old George? Nothing's the matter with good old George. Something's the matter with stupid old me. What are you talking about? I thought you and George were buddy-buddy. Oh, we were getting along fine, Patty. Except that George only seemed to call me when he couldn't get another date. I wanted to make a real impression on him. So, I wrote to the Lovelorn columnist in our school paper asking his advice. Have you ever read that column, Simon Says? I've heard of it. Well, Simon advised me to make a date with George and stand him up. He said, give him the shock treatment. I did. Now George won't even speak to me. Gee, Kath, I'm sorry. Oh, you're not nearly as sorry as Simon is going to be when I get hold of him. Hi, Pete.
Hello, Simon. Here's your mail. It's been piling up.
Meet Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair. But they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bookends, different as night and day.
Where Kathy adores a minuet, the ballet russe, and crepe Suzette.
Our Patty loves to rock and roll, a hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet, still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you find they laugh alike,
They walk alike,
at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
You haven't touched your breakfast, Kathy.
I'm really not very hungry, Aunt Natalie.
Is anything wrong?
Nothing I won't get over.
Would it help to talk about it?
Some things are better left undiscussed. I don't mind talking about it. I just made a fool of myself. Oh, look, Kath, you don't have to tell them about it if you don't want to. I'd probably feel better if I discussed it. I could kill him.
Kill who?
There's a new advice to the Lovelorn columnist on our school paper. He gave me some silly advice, and I took it. Now George won't even talk to me.
Oh, it's too bad. Who writes the column?
Nobody knows. I've heard all kinds of rumors. It's supposed to be a teacher, a senior, a professional newspaper man. I hear he works miracles. Maybe you just didn't follow his advice properly. He told me to stand George up, and I stood him up.
Well, that doesn't sound like very good advice to me.
What's his full name? Simple Simon?
Look, there are ways and ways to stand a boy up. You should have done it without hurting George's feelings. It was a good maneuver. You just didn't execute it right. Do you really think that's it? I know it is. You used the iron fist, but you forgot the velvet glove. Perhaps you're right. Why didn't I go to you for advice?
Her?
Yeah, what do I know? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to write to Simon again and ask for more details. After all, he's a man. He should know how to handle men. No doubt about it. I'll write him this afternoon. Cuz? Yes? Sign it. Dissatisfied customer. Oh, if you feel like it. Dear dissatisfied customer, if your boyfriend has stopped talking to you, it's a very healthy sign. You've got him all stirred up. Simon says to let him see you out with another boy, and he'll come to his senses. From then on, he'll be eating out of your hand. That doesn't sound right to me. Sounds great to me. It's the old jealousy bit. It never fails. But George is very honest. I don't have to play games with him. Kathy, I think Simon knows a lot more about men than you do. I suppose you're right. I'll give it a try. You won't be sorry.
Where's Kathy?
She's in her room crying.
Crying? What happened?
She had a fight with George last night.
About what?
Well, Kathy went to the shake shop with Harold, and George saw them there, and instead of getting jealous like he was supposed to, he told Kathy he was glad she had someone to take her out, and he decided to go steady with Audrey.
I don't understand it. Kathy was so fond of George. Why did she go out with someone else?
I think it was something she read.
Simon Says strikes again.
Excuse me, I think I'll go check and see how Kathy is. He's not worth it, Kath. He didn't even know enough to get jealous. Who needs him? I do. Patty, I want you to do something for me. Sure, anything. You just name it. Find out who Simon Says is. I'm going to tear him limb from limb.
One triple sweetheart flip, one double-decker delight, one rainbow nightmare, and one chocolate soda. Are you sure you won't have any dessert?
No, not right now, Sammy. Thanks.
Listen to this. Dear Simon Says, my steady boyfriend went out with another girl and I found out about it. What should I do? It's signed, Three's a Crowd. And here's his answer. Dear Three's a Crowd, don't be a clinging vine. Tell your boyfriend it's all right. When he finds out what a good sport you are, he'll come running back to you.
Good advice.
Good advice? I'm Three's a Crowd. I haven't seen Howard since I told him he could go out with anyone he liked.
I had a small fight with Alfred last week, and after following Simon's advice, it's turned into World War III.
Listen, who is this Simon Says character? We've got to get him. He's ruining my life.
Mine too. The rumor is he's a famous Viennese psychologist.
That's what I heard.
Me too. Yeah. I wonder who started that rumor. Yeah, I wonder. Come to think of it, I think I first heard it from you. You did? Yeah, so did I. Well then, if you heard it from me, there must be something to it. got held up by my fan club.
Look at all this mail.
All that for me?
Your column has really caught on, Patty. It gets 10 times as much mail as all the other columns combined.
Hey, that's great, isn't it?
Tell me, are most of the reactions pretty favorable?
Well, no one's 100% right.
You must be hitting 1,000.
Yeah. Speaking of hitting, I want you to promise me you'll never tell anybody who Simon is.
But why? I think you'd want everybody to know you're writing such a hot column, Patty.
I wouldn't want a whole bunch of kids fawning over me. Will you promise?
If you say so.
Simon says so. Listen to this. Dear Simon says, I am a teenager. I've been going with one girl and she's a doll, but she's possessive and jealous. Please advise me. Signed, Stuck. He's stuck, all right. Dear Stuck. We want Simon says.
What do you want him for?
Just tell us who he is. We'll take care of the rest.
I'm sorry, Kathy, but we're not allowed to give out that information.
How many men work on the staff of the Bugle?
Oh, I don't think he's a regular staff member. At least, I've never seen him. Please, I want to know where to get in touch with him.
So do I. Where is he?
For gosh sakes, will you take it easy?
Take it easy. We're being destroyed by this maniac.
Oh? I tell you what, I'll have a heart-to-heart talk with him.
Well, you'd better do it fast. My boyfriend Alfred wrote in asking him how much money Simon thought he should be making before he got married. Simon advised him to join the Merchant Marine, and he did.
That was Alfred?
What was Alfred?
I mean, that's Alfred, always running off somewhere.
Well, he wouldn't have run off if it hadn't been for Simon Says. We want him.
Calm down. I'll report your complaints and get back to you.
You'd better. If you don't do something about it, we will. Let's go.
Have you heard anything yet? I'm working on it. How does it look? I think he's an English brain surgeon. Brain surgeon? I'll let you know when I find out something more definite. I knew I could count on you.
Well, congratulations on your happy fan club.
Can't win them all.
Hi, Patty.
Hi, Sue Ellen.
Excuse my barging in like this, but I didn't have anything to do tonight now that I'm not seeing Howard, and I got kind of lonely. I thought we might watch television.
Sure, why not? Come on in.
I guess a lot of girls at school are having the same problem. With everybody fighting with their boyfriends, there's not much to do evenings.
Welcome to the club. Hello, Sue Ellen.
Hi, Kathy.
So, he got you too, hmm?
Yes. I was just shot down in flames.
We've got to do something about Simon. Ever since he started writing his column, every one of us has broken up with her boyfriend.
If we don't get him, we're all going to turn into old maids.
Well, you don't have to take his advice, you know.
It doesn't matter whether we do or not. Our boyfriends are taking it. Looks like you're the only one not having any trouble.
You know, good old easygoing Richard. Excuse me. Hello? Hi, Tommy.
Tommy?
Oh, no, I'm afraid I can't. Why don't you call Alice? Oh, you don't? Well, I'm sure everything will work out. Yeah. Okay. Bye, Tommy. Sorry, Alice.
The nerve of him, calling to ask you for a date.
Well, he said since he's not seeing you anymore... Excuse me. Hello? Hi, Alfred.
Alfred?
No, I can't. I'm busy tonight, Alfred. Why don't you call Maggie? not. She's a great girl. I'll see you in school tomorrow, Alfred. Bye. Boy, what'd you do to him? He's sure mad at you.
I followed Simon's advice.
You did? What name did you write to Simon under?
Troubled spirit.
Why? Oh, just curious. Excuse me. Oh, hi, Rich.
Hi, Patty.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I won't be able to go with you tonight.
Well, that isn't why I came over.
Oh, it isn't?
No, I came over to tell you that I've decided it would be better if I started going out with different girls.
What?
Yeah, I've been thinking it over, and I'm too young to be a martyr.
What did you say?
Well, I've got my own life to think about. I've decided to go out and join the human race. I don't want to get stuck.
Stop! Stop!
What?
I mean, somebody must have told you that. Don't listen to her. Him. Them.
Well, I'm sorry, Patty. I've had advice from a wise old V&E psychologist, and I'd be foolish to ignore it.
A wise old V&E psychologist.
Or an English brain surgeon, I don't know which. But it doesn't matter. It's good advice. I'll see you when I have time, Patty. Bye.
Richard, you... We've got to put a stop to Simon Says. Oh, Says. Say. And I think I know just how to do it. You do? I'm going to set a trap for him. What kind of trap? We don't know who Simon is. It could be any one of our boyfriends. That's right. Oh, what kind of trap? Or it could even be one of our teachers. Sure. What kind of trap? Or perhaps it really is the V&E psychologist who's gone mad. What about the trap? Or it could be someone from another school. Right. So, since we have absolutely no idea who Simon is, I think it would be better if I didn't discuss my plan with anyone. Well, you can trust me. Of course I can trust you. But I have to set this up myself, Patty. Can't you tell us anything about the trap? I can tell you one thing. Yeah? It can't miss. Hi, Pete.
Hi, Simon. Shh. What's the matter? We're alone?
I don't care. Never say it, not even to yourself. Oh, if word ever gets out, limb from limb.
You Lovelorn columnists sure living an exciting life. There's a telegram for you. I'm going up to see the principal.
Principal? What for?
I don't know. He just said he wanted to see me.
That's it.
That's what?
The trap. So, they went to him to force you to tell on me.
What are you talking about?
The Freedom of the Press. He can't force you to tell.
Patty, who says he's going to try?
I say so. Pete, you promised. Nobody's to know I'm Simon. I don't care how he threatens you. I want you to stand on your principles as a newspaper editor.
Mr. Brewster wouldn't threaten me.
That's the spirit. You'll back me up?
You bet I will.
Thanks, Pete. I knew I could count on you. So that was the trap that couldn't miss. Pete? It's from the Pan Ocean Press Service. They want to syndicate Simon Says.
They do?
Yeah. Imagine. Me syndicated. I'll be famous all over the world. In Paris, Simon dit. In Madrid, Simon dit. In Italy, Simon dice. In Moscow, Semyon говорит.
Hello? Who? It's the overseas operator. They're asking if there's anybody here by the name of Simon Says.
The overseas operator? That's it. It's the Pan Ocean Press Service. They'll want me. What'll I do?
Take the call.
I can't. They're probably expecting a Viennese psychologist or an English brain surgeon.
They must be interested in the column, or they wouldn't be calling. It doesn't matter who you are.
You're right.
I'll be back as soon as I can. And don't worry, I won't crack.
Thanks, Pete.
Hello? Yes? Yes, it's Simon Says. I cannot hear you, operator.
Could you speak a little louder? We got him. It's London calling. Are you still there?
I am here, operator.
Who is calling? It's the Pan-Ocean Freight Service calling. Mr. Blodgett. Do hold on, won't you? He's ready. Take over.
Hello, Hugh Blodgett here in London.
Simon Says here in America.
Would I be interested in worldwide syndication?
You're right. He sounds Viennese.
Keep him talking. Let's go get him. Oh, I'm so sorry I couldn't find Patty. Yes, sure, he's missing all the fun.
When can we meet to discuss this, old chap?
I do not think we will be able to meet. I have a very busy schedule. May I suggest you just send me a contract? No, I could not fly to London. My schedule would not permit it.
Well, perhaps I could fly there?
No, I do not think that would be a good idea. It would be much better to do the business by mail. Your 3 minutes are up. 5 cents, please, for the next 5 minutes.
Hello. Are you still there, old chap? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Where's who?
Simon Says. Was a man in here just using a phone? Was that Simon Says? Oh, he just ran out of here. Oh, what did he look like? Well, he was about 6'4", gray bushy hair, and a monocle. He looked Viennese. Oh, he slipped by us.
It's all right, Simon. Mr. Brewster didn't even ask me about your identity. He just wanted to talk about the anniversary.
Helen. You think I'm really... Look, it was all in fun. I was only trying to help you. Where's your sense of humor? Simon Says help. Hello? Howard? This is Patty Lane. Yeah. Howard, I know about the fight you and Sue Ellen had. You see, really, it was all my fault. How? Go on, tell him. Howard, you want to laugh? I'm Simon Says. Not anymore, you know.
Hey, business seems to be off tonight. Where are all the crowds?
Back with their boyfriends where they belong.
Oh, I see. I understand you're not in the columnist game anymore.
That's right. I've been demoted to selling want ads. They have a new Simon Says.
Who is it this time?
I hear it's one of the teachers.
Well, you'll have to go some to replace you.
I know how to handle boys. I guess I'm just no good at advising others.
Where's Richard?
Oh, him? I guess I advised myself out of Richard, too. I wrote to the new Simon Says about it. You know what he said? Stay home and forget it. I'm leaving now. You have a date with George tonight, huh? Yes.
Any advice? No. I'm glad everything's straightened out between you two. Funny you being the one to catch me.
Someone had to do it.
That must be George.
Patty, I know you meant well.
Oh, I always mean well, Papa. Just never turns out right.
Well, there's one good rule to learn. Before you give expert advice, be sure you're an expert.
I'll remember it. Although I doubt if I'll ever have any chance to use it again.
Well, hi, Richard.
Hi.
Hi, Richard.
Hi.
What are you doing here?
Simon Says said you'd be miserable without me.
Simon Says said that? That's right. I did. Hi.
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair. But they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike,
They walk alike,
at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins.
Congratulations.
Hi, group.
You're home late, aren't you, darling?
I got fascinated by something at school. Anyone we know? It's not a he, it's an it.
I know, Richard.
We're studying unions in our civics class. Papa, do you know anything about management and labor?
Well, I should. I've belonged to a couple of unions, and I'm on the Labor and Management Committee down at the Chronicle.
Well, then you know about Samuel Gompers and all that.
Yes.
Who's Samuel Gompers?
He was only the father of the whole labor movement. It's really interesting. Our teacher asked us to pick a practical project to work on so we'd learn more about it.
Sounds like an excellent idea.
Papa, have you ever heard of UAFM?
I beg your pardon?
Oh, the UAFUM.
No. What's that?
It stands for the United Association for Unprotected Minors.
Sounds like a good idea. Who are they?
Us.
Meet Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair. But they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bouquets, different as night and day.
Where Kathy adores a minuet, the ballet russe, and crepe Suzette.
Our Patty loves her rock and roll, a hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet. Still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike,
They walk alike,
at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Patty, you're not serious about forming this union, are you?
I certainly am, cousin. What do I need a union for? I'm just a kid.
I'll tell you what you need a union for, kid. How much is your allowance?
50 cents a week.
How'd you like 75?
I need a union.
You don't need a union to deal with your own family. They give you everything you want. Oh, sure. But this way we'll have more strength. Now when they give us something, they're doing us a favor. Once we're unionized, they have to give us what we want. Patty, I have a feeling there's disaster ahead. Will you stop being a worry bird and leave everything to old Patty?
How soon do I get my 75 cents, old Patty?
Immediately. We're going to call a meeting of labor and management. We're here as a grievance committee for the UAFUM.
Oh? What's your grievance?
Kathy's father has just sent her an increase in her weekly allowance. I feel it only fair that I should have an increase, too.
When she says I,
She means we. Oh, yes, I'm speaking for the entire membership.
Well, as management, your mother and I feel we should point out that being the member of a union carries its obligations as well as its privileges.
We understand that, Papa.
Patty, do you feel you really need a union?
Well, certainly. Everybody's unionized today. It's kind of a status symbol.
I don't really think it's necessary, Patty.
Papa, it's part of the American way of life.
What do you think, Martin?
Well, I suppose it can't do any harm.
Then we get the raise in our allowances?
Oh, I didn't say that.
Oh.
I don't see why Kathy's increase should affect you and Ross.
What's the matter? Have you got something against collective bargaining?
Well, of course not.
Papa, this is our first time at it. It'd be terrible for us psychologically if we lost.
I must say I've never heard that argument used before in collective bargaining. But I'm sure it's just because nobody's ever thought of it. Well, all right. You have your increase.
Did I tell you? It worked. Thanks, Mom. Papa, it's going to be a pleasure doing business with you. Your management was real hard. Membership, we need another meeting. We'll be back. Bye.
I didn't like the sound of that "we'll be back." Martin, do you think we've made a mistake?
No, of course not. This will be good experience for them. As a matter of fact, I was going to increase their allowance anyway. So we'll let them think they've won a victory. It'll boost their morale.
All right, we've won our first victory, but we're not going to stop with that. We're just beginning to feel our strength.
Boy, they were really frightened of us, weren't they?
Of course they were, because we're united. Patty, I really believe this is going to work. You bet it's going to work. If we'd known about this years ago, we could have been rich today. Do you realize a thing like this could sweep the country? We could organize all the kids in America.
And charge them dues. Say $1 a month. Even if we only got 1 million kids in, that's $1 million a month.
Maybe we better concentrate on us first. We've already gotten what we want. Are you kidding, Kathy? We haven't even started. Oh, what else do we need? Fringe benefits. Oh. Here, take notes. First, any member of the UAFUM who feels that he or she...
Patty, you call these fringe benefits?
Yes, sir. The members of the UAFUM feel they're just demands and therefore we're entitled to them.
You all in agreement on this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It sounds unanimous.
Well, I have some news for the UAFUM.
We have our rights,
I'm
and our
gonna give
demands
you
are
what you
reasonable,
want.
and we won't take no for an answer. If you think that What did you say?
We're going to give you what you want.
It's like magic.
Of course, there are 1 or 2 little things you'll have to do in return for these privileges.
Sure, anything.
Now, you want to be guaranteed a movie every Saturday night.
Yeah?
In exchange for that, you'll wash the dishes every night.
That sounds fair.
Good. And you want to stay up an hour later every night. Well, let's make that a half hour later.
We accept.
In exchange for that, you'll clean the patio every Saturday and wash the car once a week.
It's a deal.
And you want to watch an extra television program every night. Let's make that 3 extra television programs a week, at least one of them educational.
We'll take it.
In exchange for that, you'll clean your room every day and do your closets once a week.
That's okay.
Well, that's it then. You've just seen a successful example of collective bargaining.
You know something? I like this collective bargaining bit. Boy, this is real manual labor. Why don't we form a union? Don't worry, it's worth it. What's the matter with you?
I am beat. I can't clean my room every day. It'll kill me.
Think of all the benefits you're getting.
What benefits? I've been working so hard I wouldn't know a fringe benefit if it came up and hit me in the face with a wet towel.
Are you sure Samuel Gumper started this way? Hey, there's a good movie on tonight at 9 o'clock. The Monster Who Conquers Yonkers. I think I'll go to bed a little early tonight, Patty. I'm awfully tired.
Me too. Boy, being unionized sure is exhausting.
You know, I think this is the easiest week I've had in years, and I feel a little guilty about it. The children have been wonderful. They've cleaned their room, done the closets, the patio looks beautiful.
Yeah, I had a notion that letting them unionize was a good idea.
Oh, you were right. Sometimes Patty gets carried away with her projects, but this one turned out fine. I think I'll recommend it to all our friends. Want to go for a walk?
Yeah. Why don't we check on the union first? Well, looks like you're doing a very good job.
Thank you, Uncle Martin.
While you're down there, Patty, be sure you get the hubcaps.
Oh, I wouldn't forget the hubcaps, Papa.
We're going out for a while. Enjoy your television program.
Thanks a lot.
See you later.
Come on, honey.
Bye.
Bye. I think my back's broken. Move over.
Patty, I don't think this union idea was so hot. We've never had to clean a patio before.
We never had so many privileges before either. But what's the good of it? We're too tired to take advantage of any of them. You know something, Kat? You're right. I think we've been outmaneuvered. We've been turned into slaves. I just want to tell the kids that we're leaving.
The patio looks beautiful.
Yeah, you're really doing a bang-up job. You know, after your rest, maybe we could sit down and do some more negotiating. Well, we're off to play a little golf. I hope you enjoy your movie this afternoon.
Oh, today's the day you do your closets, isn't it? Well, I'll check them over when I get back. See you later. Bye.
Patty, please don't do any more collective bargaining. I'm exhausted now.
Don't you worry. I got us into this. I'll get us out of it. Tomorrow's another day.
The house is sure quiet. I'm surprised they're not watching television.
I suppose they're too tired. They had all those dishes to wash. Oh, Martin, do you think we're overdoing this?
What's the matter? You anti-union?
Well, they have been taking it very seriously.
Well, I meant for them to take it seriously. See, I want them to learn that privileges carry obligations. You don't get something without giving something. I think that's an important lesson for them.
I suppose you're right, but I've had so little to do since they joined the UAFUM, I feel guilty. I've become a lady of leisure.
Well, how about a snack, lady of leisure?
Fine. I'll fix you a sandwich. Look at this.
What a mess. Looks like they haven't laid a finger on it.
What do you think happened?
I don't know. We better call a meeting of the Labor Relations Committee. All I know is we had an agreement and you broke it unilaterally.
What does that mean?
It means you were supposed to have washed the dishes.
We want automation.
Automation?
That's right. An automatic dishwasher.
Well, we're not getting a dishwasher. That was not part of our agreement.
Maybe not. But we figured out that we're putting in too many hours. We don't even have enough time for our fringe benefits. There aren't enough hours in the day.
We could cut school.
I have a better idea. You could cut out television.
Oh, no. We already won that as a fringe benefit. You can't take it away from us. And we want a 5-day week. Yeah. We work hard at school all week. We want Saturday and Sunday to rest.
What about cleaning the patio?
We won't use the patio.
What about the dishes?
We'll eat off paper plates.
Now do we get the dishwasher?
No, you don't.
Well, then I guess the meeting is adjourned. Membership?
Well, how do you like that?
Well, I think it's kind of funny.
I don't. I've gotten used to not washing the dishes.
Don't worry, they'll come around.
Do you realize that they have been parading up and down the block with those signs all morning?
I think it's kind of funny.
I don't. I want you to stop them.
Well, there's one way to stop them, but it's a little drastic.
Let's do it.
Boy, you should have seen the crowd we collected. It was quite exciting.
Yeah, people want to donate money.
You should have taken it.
Taking it?
That's right. As of now, your allowances have been cut off. No work, no pay. However, you can reinstate our old agreement and go back to work.
Without a dishwasher?
Without a dishwasher.
I have to have a meeting of the membership. Excuse us. Everyone in the UAFUM, follow me.
It worked.
We haven't had their answer yet.
Don't worry, they can't get along without their allowances.
There's no point in going on, Patty. We put up a good fight, but we lost. What, are you some kind of quitter?
I am. Before I joined this union, I was getting 50 cents a week. You shot me up to nothing. I have a lot of heavy expenses.
Let's not panic. Look, we can hold out a lot longer than they can. On what? On our $30 emergency strike fund.
Oh, boy! Do we have a $30 emergency strike fund?
You bet we do.
That's great. I've saved up $30 and... You wouldn't do that to me.
Now, look, Ross, it's only a temporary measure. You'll get your money back as soon as we renegotiate our contracts. Patty, you can't take his money. I'm not taking his money. Our treasury is borrowing it. It's for a common cause, isn't it?
Sure, the cause is coming, but the money is mine.
That money could last us 2 months. They can't hold out that long. What do you say, Ross?
I say I've never been in a union before, and this whole thing is getting me very nervous.
Come on, Ross. All for one and one for all.
You mean like the Three Musketeers?
Exactly.
No. Okay.
Thanks, Ross. We've got him right where we want him. Or vice versa.
Aren't you two getting up? It's 10 o'clock.
It's Saturday.
You mean you're going to stay in bed all day?
Probably, Aunt Natalie.
I see. How long is this going to go on?
About 2 months.
You're going to become vegetables lying around in bed all day.
That's what I told. We'll be all right, Aunt Natalie.
Isn't there some way that we could settle all this? I mean, it's the first time we've ever had any union trouble around here.
Our grievance committee is willing to negotiate. All we want are our rights.
Your father and I think that we're right.
We think we're right.
I see. Well, good luck.
Mom, you understand there's nothing personal in all this.
Of course not. It's strictly management labor.
Labor, management. Do you know something terrible? What? I'm afraid my sympathies are with management. Sam Gompers would be ashamed of you.
Oh, this is ridiculous. We're working our heads off and they're lying around like ancient royalty.
It's the advantage of having a strong union.
Martin, this has gone too far. We've got to stop them.
No, we can't. It's a matter of principle. See, in the beginning, we made a promise to them that they could do this. So we've got to find some way to settle it reasonably.
They're drunk with power. Why, right this minute, they're up in their room laughing at us while we do their work.
Patty, we should really be downstairs helping with the dishes. I know we should. But how can we give in without losing face?
What are we, Chinese? Why don't we just go down there and say we were wrong?
It's a matter of principle, Ross. We can't give up everything we've gained.
What have we gained? All I've got is a sore back and I'm out $30.
We've gained the right to be heard around here. No, sir. We can't quit now. We can't let your mother do all the work. It isn't fair. I know it. Maybe we could secretly clean our closets. That's a good idea.
No, she'd know. It'd be the same as giving in.
Boy, I wish I could think of something. I know. Why don't we sneak out tonight and wax the car again?
They're spoiled. They're interested in getting, but they don't want to give anything.
You don't really believe that, do you?
At this moment, I do. Oh, Martin, why don't we just put our foot down and forbid this?
Well, there must be another solution.
Why don't they just put their foot down and order us back to work? You know your father. He wouldn't do that.
Yeah, Papa's got principles. We're stuck.
Patsy, we've got to find a solution.
It's no fun having nothing to do but have fun. That may be the smartest thing you ever said. Maybe the only smart thing I ever said.
Couldn't we at least clean this room? It's a mess.
No, not until they're ready to negotiate.
Are you sure you're doing the right thing?
Boy, I sure hope so. It's a big responsibility taking a whole union on your shoulders. On your feet! The management has just sent for the grievance committee.
Did you hear that? They've given in!
Sit down, please.
Ross said you wanted to see the grievance committee.
Yes. We'd like to get this matter settled.
So would we.
We see no reason why we can't settle it right now.
Oh, that's great. We don't want to be unreasonable. I mean, we're willing to compromise.
Oh, I don't think you should have to compromise.
You mean, we get the automatic dishwasher, we stay up an extra hour later, watch more television, go to the movies?
Well, that wasn't quite what we had in mind.
Oh? What did you have in mind?
Well, your mother and I were so impressed with your union that we've decided to form the PAMP.
I beg your pardon?
The PAMP.
That's PAMP, all right.
That stands for Protective Association for Misunderstood Parents.
You're kidding.
Oh, no. No, we're perfectly serious.
I can't tell you how thrilled I am about it. For instance, I voted myself an 8-hour day. That means you can have your choice of breakfast or dinner. I won't be able to cook both.
But you're a mother.
I'm a union member first and a mother second.
Oh, boy.
As far as the dishes are concerned, I'm assigning each one of you his own set of dishes. Now, you may wash them or not, as you please. Well, my 8 hours are up, so I think I'll go off to bed and read. That's my fringe benefit for Monday. Have a nice day.
You can't do that.
Yes, I can. This may come as a surprise to you, darling, but we parents are human beings, too. What we give you out of love, not because we have to. We like it received the same way.
Don't you know how much we appreciate you and Papa?
Well, there hasn't been much indication of that lately, Patty.
I guess I got carried away again. I'm sorry. Could you wait a second while the grievance committee votes on something?
Votes on what?
I make a motion that the UAFUM be disbanded forever. Do I hear any seconds?
I second the motion.
Motion is seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion is carried unanimously.
You sure that's what you want?
You bet it is.
This is the worst mistake I ever made in my whole life.
And she's made some beauties.
Well, I must say that changes things. Natalie, I would like to move that we permanently disband the PAMP. Do I hear a second?
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion is carried unanimously.
Hooray.
Boy, I'm glad it's all over.
Are you? Wait until you see the dishes waiting for you in the kitchen.
I don't care. Neither do I.
Well, now that I'm not a union mother anymore, I suppose I'd better go start dinner. Oh, it was a nice vacation while it lasted.
I'll help you out, Natalie. So will I.
Me too.
Gee, I'm glad everything's back to normal.
Hey, let's try to keep it that way for a while, huh, Patty?
Sure. But you know, Papa, in spite of everything,
Oh, bit old Sam Gompers would have been proud of us.
Hi, Goop. You're late, darling.
I got fascinated by something at school.
What did you say?
Guess what we're studying in our zoology class? Live snakes. Look at this.
Hey, Patty, no, what are you...
What's everybody so excited about?
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square.
But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair. But they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike,
They walk alike,
at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins